it's time for a What's Japan saying about and today we're talking about their reaction to the chaotic raid. And we'll be looking at what aggregate sites such as Umadori have gathered across a Japanese player base this week. And these sites gather things from official sources, Twitter, but most often 5chan. So keep in mind that some opinions and statements can be a bit exaggerated, as well as the comments on the posts can be the same. So, there you go. Okay. So the first one here, I'm scrolling on the wrong window. So the first one is mostly talking about the difficulty. I have a couple of different things talking about the difficulty, but in this one, we start with number 1 here saying, isn't this a bit too hard? Are randoms gonna be able to do this? And with much later in the thread, 523 saying, if randoms don't do it, it is so over. 524 saying, this is way too much. Frowny face emoji. I thought it was gonna be like Baldessi and Arsenal, but this is too much for randoms. Sad face emoji. 527 saying, this is harder than an ultimate. 528 saying, controlling 8 people is hard enough. 24 is impossible. Later in the thread, 536. Where is it? 536 is like, this is wild. Fru's being outdone. 545 saying, the pace is so fast. It's impossible for casuals. Okay, so I'm phrasing this as casuals. They're saying Laito-chan. They kind of mean like... how do I put this into words? One way of maybe perhaps saying it is like, grays, perhaps? But it's not necessarily about, funny numbers. It's more about how they tackle the game. Think of it as like, you know, the people that do EXs very late, right? That's what they mean by Laito-chan. Like, not just casual, but like, honestly, toxic casual is the kind of vibe that Laito-chan has about it. Anyway, the next one was 541, making just a... Wait, where's 541? I lost it. So just a... Somewhat the imaginary scenario of who messed up this time. 23 others. Silence. 546 saying, this feels like a 4th level fight. Lol. Sunglasses emoji for some fucking reason. 551 says... The mechanics are about as hard as second fight. Like, at the end of a X-Pac second fight, you mean? 553. Let me find 553 so you guys can see it. Wait, where's 553? Oh, there it is. Here it is. 553 saying, this pace is insane. It's more like an ultimate lol. That said, Dawn Trail's high end is like super easy, but its regular content is really hard. What the hell is going on? 557 saying, it's casual. I guess we could say toxic casuals content that's getting harder. High end's about normal. Later 122, much later. Wait, where'd 122? Here it is. 122 saying, apologizing to 24 people is hell, lol, sunglasses emoji. And 13 at the end, with the last part that they copy-pasted, was saying that without voice, just macros and practicing seems like it'll be impossible to clear. And then as for their opinion after doing it about Yoshi-P's statement about it being about as hard as a second fight in the tier, and, like, the opinion was like, oh, like, light heavyweights, M2S? Okay, that's fine. But then they're like, oh, it's more like, Abyssos? Abyssos second fight. So here we have 455 saying, I guess it's about the level of a second fight of a Savage tier, but doing that level of content with 24 people is a pain. 546 saying, this is the same comment from before, from the last thread, where they're saying this is more like a fourth fight level, lol. It's the same thread. It's likely the same thread and the same piece, being brought into this portion as well. As well as the same as 551, you know, the idea of like, oh, it's more like the second fight of a tier at the end of the X-Pack. And then 738 later here. 738, where are you? There you are. Chaotic is harder than M2. And then, so yeah, 738 saying, oh, you know, this is harder than M2S. And then 741 saying, I mean, if we're gonna bring in light heavyweight into this conversation, it's harder than M4 too. And then 153 later making this, like, imaginary scenario in their head. Yoshida... Wait, no, not 64. Here it is. Here it is. 153, Yoshida. Make it around the level of an EX. And then I said, oh, that'll end up like Abyss... And in their head, Abyssos second fight difficulty. Yoshida, in his head, light heavyweight. Second fight difficulty is good, right? The idea being like, that they're omitting what tier they're talking about. As at least in Japanese, they don't continually add numbers. They're all just, Nisol, I believe the kanji is read as. And they add the prefix onto it. So it would be as if we said, like, Creator 3 or Abyssos 2. More like. Rather than the way that English speakers do it, where we keep adding. And then at the end, I think it's at the end, 959 saying, he never did say which Savage second fight he meant. As for me, I mean, my opinion is that the mechanics aren't really... I mean, there are certain parts in 2 where they probably feel as wild as Chaotic, but the pacing is definitely faster in Chaotic, and with so many people, it's going to feel harder. But I don't know if I'd say the mechanics themselves are harder than 4. This whole light heavyweight, so the first tier of Arcadion at least, didn't have that many, like, what I want to call, like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Really puzzly, like, convoluted mechanics. Oh, let me queue for my boat. They didn't have as many of those convoluted mechanics this tier. Versus previous tiers, or as we get later in the X-Pack, we'll probably see more convoluted, you know, kind of, I don't want to say secret, but ones where the puzzle pieces are harder to put together. Things were a little bit more honest this tier, which is fine, right? But it does make it feel easier. But I also think that, at least to some extent, some of these reactions are very knee-jerk in terms of, like, the first time they do it. They're like, oh, this is so hard. This is so hard. I can't do this. This feels so hard because they've, like, completely forgotten how the first, the entire tier felt, like, on the day that they started it, right? So I definitely think that there's an initial reaction. Plus, of course, you're going to have a lot of people across the board where these are people that are joining thinking, oh, well, it's just an alliance raid. It should be fine. It should be easy. And then they don't realize that, like, no, this is harder content. This is higher end content. But I'm sure that over time, there'll probably be less of a... Maybe a little less. But definitely the people issue is going to always be an issue. And speaking of people issues, the drops. So I think we've now figured out what the drops are. So the regular drops being with a full party as all 24 people being new, it's 49 demi-materias 2s, plus 2 demi-materia 1s, and then 2 gear coffers, and a random chance at the hairstyle, the cloud mount, and the minion. Probably also the floor tile mount. They're not entirely sure here. And so the responses after seeing all of this, down here in their comment section, we've got one saying the amounts give me bad vibes. 5 here saying, so you're saying you can clear once and get the hair. Nice. And then 7 saying, I guess trying to gather 23 newbies will be a thing. And as I mentioned earlier, there are people kind of trying to scam and get full newbie bonuses. To make bank. Which we'll get into a little bit later. And then 8. No, 7? No, sorry, 8. Right after it says, so if you want the mount, the cloud mount, you gotta clear like 50 times. Oof. 9 saying, guess it's something like not cleared, drop 2, cleared, drop 1. 13 later pointing out, whoa, first time bonus? Is it the time for alts to shine? 14 responding to them like, you can't trade the materia, so does it really matter? And 50 pointing out like, you trade the items. You can trade the items that you turn the tokens in for. Like, kind of calling them dumb. And a little bit off of that scam PF. So unfortunately here, Nitsu here, posted a tweet with a warning saying that they thought they joined an all first clear party, but the 4 people who were there at the start of the PF had already cleared. People who have cleared can set the PF to, you know, duty unclear required or whatever. Duty not cleared required, whatever the exactly statement is. The phrasing is in 14. And can easily make bank abusing this loophole. If you want to guarantee 49 for the hair, just make your own PF, sad face. They were able to eventually get the hair by joining other parties. And then somebody even pointed out here that technically this is something that's reportable because it's a scam. It's scamming other players. But yeah, it's really unfortunate. Anyway, so the last part we have here is about the limited time bonuses. So Japan actually got one first. Japan, it happened on the 27th at 6 a.m. on a weekday. And the rollover, as we've already noted, states that some drops are more common. So the increases the extra drops, the hair, the mounts, maybe? Minion. And here we see it, Dukaharu posting their drops for the limited time bonus. And pointing out that 8 extra demi ones are randomly distributed per party. And you can receive multiple, as you can see here. This one with the PNG as their last name received 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's great. You can get 0. And the comments, there weren't actually that many comments on this. But here, number 1 saying, IMO, they should consider putting this type of thing in more than just chaotic. Make it something like 11s or FF11 specifically, NM system. That said, 14 players these days would get mad and parties would implode if they can't clear within the bonus time period. So maybe it's better if the bonus is a surprise? 3, how the heck do you get 24 people at 6 freaking a.m. on a weekday? 6 later stating, why the heck can one person get multiple? And 11 also joking, Alliance Ray doesn't even pop at that hour. See, the thing is, JP, I don't think is doing party... I don't think JP is doing Raid Finder either. Not yet, anyway. I'm not entirely sure. But continuing off about the limited time bonus, the 5chan reaction here we've got is... Forums are saying the bonus is randomly distributed? Is this for real, Lamal? That's way too experimental. Yeah. The bonus doesn't matter if you're, The bonus doesn't require Raid Finder. The bonus just requires doing it during the time period. Yeah. 450 saying, asking how much is the bonus. 458 explaining, they heard it's the same 2 tokens, but the extra items have a higher drop chance. 462 responding, oh, that's fucking lame. That's lame, buddy. 470 saying, if you clear during the bonus, each alliance gets 8 randomly distributed Demi 1s. You still get the regular 2 Demi 1s. This is shit. It's basically down to RNG rolls. With 487 responding them saying, the bonus should be something that applies to everyone clearing it. Here, it's something that benefits people with good luck only. This is so 14 coded. This is so quintessential Final Fantasy 14. And one here saying, bonus lottery. What a shit show. 2 making up that imaginary saying, wouldn't be interesting if we made the bonuses random? You know, prey on gambling habits. What if people don't get the any bonuses? Perfect. Lol. And then... what was the other thing I comment? 3 saying, what kind of game is this? How did Yoshi-P okay this? 4 saying, you know, if they thought about it just a second longer, they would have realized this is stupid as... curse word here. I'm gonna have to bleep it anyway. 6 saying, what? You mean I could clear during bonus and get literally nothing? And then 13 making this another imaginary, like, oh, somebody, who knows? If everyone gets equal rewards, people who are good at it will all stop doing it sooner, and that's not good. They have a point. I think too, at a point, the idea of like gambling habits, the idea like, oh, this is preying on gambling. That's not good. This bonus, this is basically nothing. Because you're just gonna end up, people are going to end up just having to farm the whole way through. Absolutely are gonna have to farm the whole way through. This is an absolute nightmare of a bonus. I don't even know what to say. Like, what? Like, I guess you could argue maybe you could do multiple runs with the same group within the bonus to maybe guarantee a better chunk of change. Maybe not chunk of change, better chances at getting the drops, but that's 8 people fighting for one of the items that drops, and only maybe one of them, you know? Not really a bonus. And 487 with the idea, like, the bonuses should be something that applies to everybody, but this bonus only, you know, benefits people with good luck. Like, that's not, like, what are you doing, 14? What are you doing? Like, I mean, at least they have a pity system for everything but the minion, but... Why? I don't know. I definitely think that they're gonna get some backlash from the bonus. I think the content itself is fine, but... The bonus is definitely gonna be told, like... there's gonna be some very strongly worded, like, what the fuck were you smoking? Get it out of the office. Get those cigarettes out of the office, Yoshi-P. Those ones suck. But for some fun bits, let's just do a little bit of a fun wrap-up. So, fun fact, Wuklamat's Japanese voice actress, Shimo Yamada Ayaka, cleared through! But yeah, she cleared through. And fun fact, she's actually now a sextuple legend. She actually has cleared every ultimate to date. But also, you guys can still see it, right? Look how cute her Lala is. Look how cute her Lala is, chat. My god, adorable Lala. And for one more fun little thing, while I do this spectral current, one Taito merch is coming out. The barrel tender squishy muscly barrel tender. He's about 10 centimeters and you can squish and pull him. He's a good fidget toy probably. And that wraps up the what is Japan saying about for this time. Where's my outro? There it is. Those are all the topics I have for the what is Japan saying about this time. And if you want to see more of this thing, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. I live stream both on YouTube and Twitch almost every day and record these live. And with that, I will see the future YouTube video crew next time. Oyasumimi. Bye bye, recording gang.